There are some big news coming in from the global political news. The first and foremost important news which I want to share with you guys is Emmanuel Macron has suddenly decided to hold snap elections in France on June 30th because he did not perform well in the European Union Parliament elections, which was a big shocker for him and as well as the Green parties and all, where the Christian Democrats did considerably well. But that's the news coming in, and not to forget that Russia is getting more and more involved in the Ukraine war, and it turned to a very different dynamic altogether. Where Putin has even said that if he launches nuclear war, which he does not need to, even then Europe is defenseless because US was not going to come into effect. So that's going to be really interesting and quite scary to look and think that the European Union Parliament elections happening, the transition of power, what's going to happen in France on June 31st, snap elections, and with a crisis going on at the helm of the European border. Whereas, as for Israel and Palestine, news ministers are trying to resign from Benjamin Netanyahu's emergency government, as well as Israel is still embroiled in that perilous war against Gaza, and of course, there is a lot of crisis going on, the humanitarian crisis going on. Not to forget that when we come back to all of this, then there is very important identity and issue that's coming up in very close. I mean, back to from where we can think of is that what is the crisis coming in. One is, as I mentioned, the European elections, the Russia Ukraine war, the Israel Palestine conflict taking in a very new shape. So these are very, very important dimensions to it. And last but not the least, not to forget, there was also news from ChatGPT that there is foreign interference or was foreign interference in Indian elections during the Lok Sabha, which came out, and there may have been a lot of toolkit used, like supposedly from Israel by opposition parties, but it's yet to be substantiated, and it's very hard to substantiate such claims. But this is what is really coming out in the news, especially not from any media outlet, but from ChatGPT's apparent presser. So that's one thing to watch out for. Now, we all know that the global scenario is very, very tight, and of course, even China, Taiwan could be an issue in the future, but it's all going to be seen how it comes up. So, focusing on that, these are some of the important global news right